Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 49 of Bardic Quest, the show where a group of British trained actors tell fantastical, improvised stories through the medium of Dungeons and Dragons. Before we begin, a wonderful thank you to the legend that is James Webster for providing us with wonderful artwork that we use in our opening credit scenes, and indeed some of the backdrops here that you'll see as part of the show. So do check him out. His work is really cool, and I'd actually, particularly if you do sessions over Zoom or any other platform that allows for virtual backgrounds, I'd highly recommend just kind of injecting his artwork into your table for extra immersion. So check him out, patreon.com/JamesRPGArt. He posts loads of stuff regularly, and it's just really awesome stuff. So yes, thank you, James, for your support as always. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest. So, that was a big sigh then, Ollie.
Getting into character, Wayne.
So, last time, our heroes, making their way north towards Neverwinter Wood, had a conversation with Sister Gariel in which she managed to slightly upset Thorik and Johann with the suggestion, the accidental suggestion that they might not be trying hard enough to find Gundren Rockseeker, which was certainly not her intention, but certainly how it was taken. Hit a nerve, I think. And they were venturing north down the hills towards Neverwinter Wood, where they were ambushed by a bunch of burly orc bandits who gave them a good run for their money, I think, dropping Johann and endangering Sister Gariel. However, with their combined abilities and with the help of a little bit of magic, I must say, Johann, with the help of a little bit of magic, they managed to deal with these orcs and have, as is tradition, caught one of the orcs for interrogation, which is, of course, where we pick up. Johann has removed his dagger from the shoulder of the orc. Thorik got his finger plugging in the wound and has just asked whether or not this orc knows of Glasstaff or the Black Spider, which the orc has denied. So, Thorik and Johann, you're with Sister Gariel, you have the orc pretty much at your feet. What would you like to do?
Still with his finger in the wound, I just turn over my shoulder to Johann. He's telling the truth about Glasstaff and the Black Spider. Anything else we can learn from this light-fingered friend of ours?
Who do you work for?
Well, why would I tell you that, eh?
Oh, so you do work for someone?
Punch.
Is that in an attempt to intimidate, would you say?
No.
Just for funsies.
I'm pissed off with these orcs. You know, it caught me on a bad day, right? And I'm not even in the mood to be elaborate with my intimidation techniques. I just want to wail into him, you know. I
want to stop him from actually bringing him to being unconscious, though. Just like, I don't want to have to heal this thing to get any more information out of him. Just like, cool off.
I'll wake him up.
Um,
Right, go on, carry on. You were saying. Speak quickly.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I do work for someone. Yeah.
Who?
Well, I ain't gonna tell you that.
I just wiggle my finger in the wound.
Ow! 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 Ow!
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. You're saying a name?
All right.
Stop.
He says, Brugor Biter.
Who?
What?
You heard?
No, I didn't.
The DM's video went a bit weird. Please tell us again.
So you heard? No.
Please tell us again.
He said, Brugor Biter.
Brugor Biter. God, you're really not very imaginative, are you?
I'm gonna start writing these down.
Not very what?
Never mind you.
Right. Well, can I go now?
No. Who is Brugor Biter?
Well, he's the boss, isn't he?
Of what? Where's he based? In these woods or in?
Up the hills.
Where? Be specific.
Well, if I tell you, how do I know you're not going to go do things that are not very good?
You literally shake people down for coins in the middle of the road. I think I'll be the judge of who's got a good moral character here.
An orc with a conscience. Now that is new.
We're at Wyvern Tor.
Wyvern Tor. Gariel, does that ring a bell?
She says, oh yes, it's a old craggy outcropping in the mountains.
Could you lead us there, Gariel?
It'd be hard to find, but I'm sure with a bit of searching. Although I must admit, I don't know if heading up to Wyvern Tor. It's probably in the opposite direction to finding Agatha.
That's fine. So that means that you're probably a bit less useful to keep around.
Does that mean you're going to let me go?
Oh yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll let you go. So tell me, do you have a little drop somewhere, a little hideaway that you've kept some other interesting things that you've taken from poor unsuspecting people on this road?
Well, yeah, we take it all up to Wyvern Tor. Why?
Well, it'd be nice to redistribute some of the things you've stolen.
And we feel bad. We'll have to take you back to your hideout. We've caused you much distress.
Well, you don't have to. I can make my way.
Oh, I grab him by the lapels. We insist. Pull him to his feet.
So just like nothing unabashed in front of this guy. I've just like got my warhammer hooked over the guy's shoulder and just kind of like shove him to one side. So Johann, opposite direction to the Banshee. How close is Wyvern Tor?
Who are you talking to?
The orc.
He says, well, it's probably about a day away.
Of course it is. Why would you ever just shake down people on the road next to you? Why is it always a day of travel or so? In the opposite direction, you say, Gariel?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, great. Great. That's just great, isn't it? Just talking to the orcs. That's great, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't that great?
He's just nodding.
Aye.
Yeah, great, yeah.
Johann, we can't spare the time currently, I don't think. I think we need to stick on to this Banshee thing. But doesn't mean that we won't circle back around and come and meet your friends another day, does it?
No.
Is there any more of you other than this boss you spoke of?
Oh, yeah, fair few of us, yeah.
Is he lying?
Give me an insight check.
That's a 14.
No, he's not lying. There are more.
Fun. Very well. Do we have a map that he could mark the location of his hideout on?
We do have a map.
You do have the map, yeah.
Cool.
Have you got anything for him to mark on the map with?
Yes, we do. Finger.
Right.
Excuse me. Just jab his finger into it.
Right, his own finger. Stop poking yourself. Stop poking Now, you mark where Wyvern Tall... Wyvern Tall, was that what you said?
Wyvern Tor, yeah. T-O-R.
Wyvern Tall. T-O-R. Sorry, my orcish friend. Just going to adjust my notes. Wyvern Tall, forgive me. Now put her on the map.
And you kind of see him he's looking at it, trying to make sense of it. He kind of looks at you for kind of a little bit of guidance, but realizes...
Right, that's the Triboar Trail. That's where we are, roughly, give or take. That's where we killed a Manticore. That's where we just killed a Red Wizard. That's where we're going to try and find this guy called Glasstaff. And this is where you're going to mark your hideout.
And he kind of looks at it and he kind of goes... and just dabs his finger and kind of does a little circle, which probably covers about 4 or 5 hills on the map. There.
Okay.
Now, what are you going to do now?
I'm gonna go.
Where?
Gonna go to my boss, ain't I? Yeah.
And what are you going to tell him?
I'm gonna tell him that I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna tell him that we had a big fight and yeah, you were pretty good, but I survived. And that means I'm a strong orc.
I look at Thorik as if to say, what do you think?
I feel like Johann's a really bad influence on Thorik. Thorik is becoming more and more done with everyone that they've met. This has been incredibly difficult. We've not found anything to do with Gundren. We're just basically blundering around in the wilderness with no direction. And now we get fucking accosted by some orcs who try to shake us down for coin and nearly kill us. You know what? Thorik's done. Thorik's really done. He's just like, you know what, Johann? Frankly, I don't really care.
Okay. So I put thought. So, which direction is your hideout? Hoping that he'll turn around so that his back's to Johann.
Yeah, he kind of turns up to look up the hill.
Okay. Where exactly? Was he...
somewhere.
Breaks his neck.
Ooh. And he just crumples on the floor.
Thorik like gips a bit. Oh, Jesus! I mean, better not true silver, Johann. Like,
sorry, was I not? I thought that's what you. I said.
Like, I thought you were just gonna bob him over the head or something. Like, not.
No.
Gods,
no.
Above and below.
No, we don't know how long we'll be gone. He might have gone back to his hideout and alerted his boss, and they might have taken us in the back. No, much safer this way.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, I've got a strong stomach, but God, warn a man. Come on.
Sorry. Next time I'll tell you. Sorry, sister.
Yes.
You all right?
you kind of see her gag a little. She's like, yes, I'm fine. Thank you.
Gives her
She kind of looks down at the orc and kind of with disgust.
I think Thorik at this stage is, I mean, do they have anything on them that's useful to us? If they got anything?
Good question. So, in terms of any sort of loot, shall we say, these guys don't really have much actually on them, which suggests perhaps that you were the first, given they're in amongst the hills, that you were the first people that they saw to potentially accost for some time, given that you're still fairly far off the road at this point. So really, you've got javelins and broken axes and armor, really, that you can pick up if you want.
Are javelins simple weapons?
Javelins are...
Aye, they are.
Ooh, I'm proficient in simple weapons.
I hope so.
Oh, is everyone?
I mean, well, hopefully. You know, helps.
Sorry, I thought that might have been an optional extra, like heated seats.
Yeah. I think you know those wizards and druids. They kind of like they're good at a few things, but not the whole shebang. You know.
Sure.
Us.
Yeah.
Simple weapons is like the baseline, and then you've got your whole, you know, swish, swish, twang, twang, and I've got my thump, thump kind of things as well. You know, we've all got our things, haven't we?
Yes, I remember the chapter on thump, thump weapons.
Could I carry a javelin or two?
Well, there's going to be a total of about 9 javelins between all of the orcs.
Oh.
As I'm like with what I'm carrying, I've got a shield, a warhammer, Gladys. How many's like a reasonable number that I could pick up and not be like? I mean, I'm not going to be encumbered, but just easily. I'll take 2.
Okay.
I'll take 1 and use it as a kind of
Walking stick.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so add those to your inventories.
Ooh.
Anything else? Anything else that they're carrying that might be?
I mean, as I say, aside from the javelins, it's just what remains of their broken armor and their great axes.
I mean, honestly, Johann.
Yeah.
The orcs have given my people some trouble over the years, and it's been a while since I fought one. They are nasty. How are you looking?
Not great. I'm still bleeding from some places. Probably got a couple of new scars. It's been a hell of a day.
Do you want me to... And Thorik sort of speaks quite plainly to him and says, look, well, I need you. And I don't want you... I need you at your best. And the easiest way for that to happen right now is if you just let me give you some help.
Just get on with it.
I won't do it without you saying so. I respect you. And I respect your course. Look, my way's one way, my friend, but it's not the only thing. And it's taken me a long time to come around to the idea of following my own path, let alone judging anyone else on theirs. I'm really not a model. I'm really not a model Fëanor.
Well,
I'm really not.
To be truthful, I'm not exactly the best of my kind either, but I must say, you have my respect also, Master Dwarf. You can show me that not everything has to end in death or violence. There are other ways. And you and Sergei, I'd never say you use magic for anything other than to help. It's nice to see.
That's right. Doesn't always go that way. And there are a lot of people I met that make out that they're pious and good and just, and they just end up using what power they have for their own gain. I get it. And I'm glad you're around because I know that you'll keep me in check make sure that I don't follow that same path.
Very well. Do what you must. He kind of closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. Takes his medicine.
Thorik's genuinely really like touched and quite overwhelmed at how accepting Johann's being. Kind of tries to remember the words of cure wounds as I cast it at. How hurt is Johann?
I'm at 11 out of 23.
Math.
Are you there?
Yeah, we'll do it at first level and see where we go.
Aww.
Okay. So you cast Cure Wounds. How are we looking in terms of hit points?
How's he looking? Well, it's the full 8, my friend. So that's a total of 13 going into the pool.
Nice.
Lovely. That'll take me back up to full health.
Fantastic.
So
you see your wounds start to almost like stitch themselves up, Johann, almost as if aided by a needle and thread and the sped up passage of time as you just watch them close. The little cuts and bruises that you have just start to heal and disappear entirely.
Thanks.
You're welcome, my friend.
Now then, let's get on it. We're losing daylight.
Aye.
You all right, sister?
Yes, I am. Thank you. She says, so would now be a bad time to talk of this proposal?
Oh, yes, that's right. You were interrupted, weren't you?
Aye, sorry, for a second I was like, this was going to be some sort of big reveal, like my proposal is 4 orcs taking all your stuff, but no, it wasn't. That's fine.
Oh,
Yes, it's quite funny because if had that been the case, I'd have had to kill you.
Yeah, we would be having a good time. We'd all be fighting right now. You'd be dead.
Wouldn't that have been?
No, but seriously, please do tell us. We'd be most happy to hear your proposal. Please tell us.
It's genuine laugh for you, Hammer.
That was unfortunate timing, I suppose, wasn't it? Well, first of all, thank you for not killing me. She says, so I feel as though your moral standing, the both of you, is very, very good and very, very proper. She says, have you heard much of an organization known as the Harpers? And you kind of see her just remove part of her outer cloak that she wears, and you can see a small badge on her chest that is silvery and blue in colour.
Oh shit! It's the 5-0.
It's kind of got like a. It's kind of got like the iconography of like a harp surrounded by a crescent moon.
Can't say that I have.
I don't believe I know. Is this a? Listen, sister, is this a religious thing with your god? Because like.
Oh no.
I've kind of got something going on already that I'm quite happy with, and I respect.
It's not you, it's me.
I respect your view. I respect your views to like enjoy other gods. That's fine. They're great, I'm sure. But is that what this is?
No, nothing religious at all. No. We are a. Shall we say a network of sorts, scattered all across the realms, of a network of spies and perhaps even adventurers.
Spies.
Yes, we strongly advocate equality and fairness, and we quite vehemently oppose any abuse of power that we see. In fact, my venturing out into these hills and my encounter with Harmon Kost, the Red Wizard, was in a way a direct result of that very quest to overthrow any abusers of any power.
I knew there was more to you than met the eye.
Well, I will take that as a compliment. I'm sure it was intended that way. And she gives you a curt nod, and she says, "We work to gather information on tyrants and any leaders or governments or even groups of people that perhaps grow a little too strong and perhaps abuse or oppress the weak and the poor. And I just wondered if perhaps such an organization might be of interest to you to perhaps join."
No disrespect, sister, but myself and the dwarf are already members of fairly, comprehensive orders of our own, and I'm sure that if our goals align, we're quite happy to work together. But
absolutely, you sound great on paper. I mean, thank you. That's very flattering.
Yes.
Is there any sort of package, or initiation thing you did? Like, what would be, with respect, what would be the difference to what we're doing now compared to if we were part of your club?
Well, of course, you would have all of the support of the Harpers as a whole. We're quite a large organisation, and
may I ask, are you actually Harpers, or as in musicians, or?
Oh no, not at all.
It's just a right, okay.
And have you asked them to come to? You're from Phantom, or you're based in?
Well, I'm based in Phandelver, but I report to my superiors in Neverwinter quite frequently.
And have you asked for the support of the Harpers to come and help with the red brands?
Well, shortly before... Well, let me put it this way. I was due to venture up to Neverwinter to ask for their support, until I heard stories of this red wizard, and I felt as though, as one of the few people of Phandalin with any magical ability, I thought it was worth investigating and seeing what information I could gather before heading up to Neverwinter, so that I could seek their support in that area as well. But alas, I, as you know, didn't quite make it that far.
No. I mean, we're kind of at half capacity. We'll think on it.
Of course.
Thank you. Genuinely, no, it's a really big compliment. I really appreciate it. It's very kind of you.
Very happy to be asked.
Absolutely. And of course, we're fans of the Harpers. Clearly, you're giving it your all.
I don't suppose you have a pamphlet.
No,
business card. Or...
I'm afraid not. No.
No, never mind.
Spies, right? Spies. You can't be just
true.
Well, indeed, you can't just distribute information.
No, you can't just have pamphlets and literature just
indeed.
to hand. That's the problem we've just had with this Red Wizard. He didn't write all his master plans down in an easy-to-follow book that we could follow to find out where, you know.
He was sensible, you see. That was sensible of him.
I was hoping that he would monologue before we killed him, frankly. I mean, that's genuinely what I was hoping for, that he'd maybe give the things are buried in the...
Yes, although granted, he perhaps wasn't feeling as confident as to, you know, boast, given that he had a blade at his neck the whole time.
Aye, you know.
So, the Harper's agenda, is it to undermine organizations like the Red Brands, individuals like the Black Spider and Glasstaff, or is it to remove them entirely?
It would depend on the situation, I suppose. We prefer more secretive or secret approaches, more covert approaches to things. But of course, when things get out of hand, sometimes things have to be escalated. You know.
How right you are.
And just gesturing to the kind of orcs and just situation that we're all in currently now. And would you say this situation has indeed escalated?
Well, it seems to me a bunch of ragtag bands of orcs, goblins, bandits, and all sorts. It's difficult to say, really, the scale of perhaps cohesive chaos that is being wrought in this region. And that was partly what I was trying to establish in my search for the Red Wizard, was to see if there was, in fact, much in the way of the connection to what was going on in Phandelver versus the wider region. And
well, Glasstaff seems to be in league with some character called the Black Spider. No idea who or what they are currently. Seems to be reporting to them. Took people hostage, killed people in the street in Phandelver, taken over a very nice establishment of a pub.
I mean, certainly the situation in Phandelver has certainly escalated.
Good, we're agreed.
Yes, we're agreed on that for sure. I'm just not sure how much the escalation of the surrounding area and banditry. Well, even if indeed it is much of an escalation, I've not been based in Phandelver for very long, only a few months. So it's hard to tell, but certainly the situation in Phandelver, sorry, with the Red Brands has certainly gotten out of control.
Right.
But it sounds from your story earlier that you've mostly dealt with them.
Well, sort
maybe.
of.
Well, at least made progress.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Aye. What we always end up quite thin on is the details. You know, no one just. We're trying to connect the dots. There's a lot. They just have miles and miles of countryside and forest and everywhere to hide in. We've not seen Glasstaff. Glasstaff seems to be embezzled in magic and invisibility. Might have been there, escaped our clutches. Some one-eyed monster thing that we fought and killed. We killed that, didn't we?
That would prove a challenge, I suppose, if you can't even see the threat.
Aye. Exactly. We feel very much in the dark.
Well, hopefully a visit to Agatha might light your way a little.
Yes.
Let alone there's another Fëanor knocking around, or possibly eaten by a fucking owlbear or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Aye.
That would be unfortunate.
Well, what does Thorik do?
Thorik just looks tired.
It has been a long day.
Shall we stop eating mint?
Oh, is it?
Or is it? I don't know. What time of day is it, Wayne?
Oh,
it's not even lunch.
No, it's not yet lunch.
All right then, let's carry on into the wood. See if we can find this banshee. Ask it a few questions.
What do we want to ask the banshee? If it's one question that we're asking, what are we asking? Like, that's quite an important thing.
Can the banshee be persuaded to answer more than one question?
Sister Gariel says, I'm not sure. I can't say I've heard stories of the Banshee answering more than one question.
You said that the creature likes to be flattered, to stroke its ego.
Yes, indeed, although I think that is more a prerequisite to having your question answered in the first place. As far as extra questions go, that would be a risk, I think.
I think we should take it that it's going to be one.
Well, we could ask where Gundren is. We could ask, who is the Black Spider? Where is the Black Spider? Where is Glasstaff? Did I already say that?
I think any of those are pretty solid options because hopefully one will lead to the other.
Can we phrase it all in one question? Where is Gundren Rockseeker, the Black Spider, and Glasstaff? Is that one question?
Gariel, have you heard whether... Is it just information, or does this creature, does this thing have power to grant? I don't know, like, if we asked, we need a way to find these people, would it give us something that would help us, or is it very much kind of, you know, northwest on the Triboar Trail, take a left, you know?
I think it is much more in line with information rather than perhaps any boons of any kind. Her legendary powers are that of a diviner more than anything else. If the stories be true, of course.
Well, we best be getting started then.
Alright. Hoist the warhammer over the shoulder and just keep a weather eye, Johann. These are dangerous, dangerous lands.
I'm on my way.
So you venture down the hills, and you make your way further north to basically where the ground meets the roads. And
oh no,
you're now back on the Triboar Trail, and as you're headed, following the trail towards the forest, you do see that the dirt road that you're on leads to a dozen buildings centered around a cobbled square. The houses here are in real dire disrepair. You almost might say that they are worn, or perhaps ruined houses.
And you say cobbled as opposed to kobold.
Cobbled instead of kobold, yes. Barely any of the thatched roofs really remain on these ruined houses, and there are broken glass lines, broken glass that lines the spaces where windows used to be. And in the cobbled square, you can actually see that plants have forced their way through cracks in the stones, as nature once more takes her claim of the ground here. And there is a cool wind that rustles through this ruined settlement, briefly disrupting a long silence. But what is most surprising of all, however, is that a number of the ruins and parts of the ground here seem to be covered in thin layers of frost and ice. And that is where we shall end this week's episode.
Intriguing.
I mean, it is winter.
But is it that much winter?
I don't know what to expect anymore.
This whole encounter just... I thought Gariel was a villain. Just...
And they're just dressing everything up like it's a threat, like, and water started to fall from the sky.
And then you saw a bunny rabbit.
We will allow the theories to continue. Is this harmful snow, or is it, just a bit of Mother Nature doing her thing? Who knows? Is it yellow snow?
Oh, well, that's dangerous stuff.
We've
That
all
is.
had the tale of that. Never
But
easy.
in the meantime, thank you everyone for tuning in. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you're listening on podcast, a rating or review in your podcatcher of choice. And we shall catch you guys next week.